The murder of Amy Biehl was a brutal punctuation in South Africa's transition. The American anti-apartheid activist was killed by a mob in Gugulethu, Cape Town, 25 years ago. Her parents forgave the killers and supported their bid at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where they received amnesty. Now, one of Amy's killers works at the foundation started in her name by her parents, and a movie about her death is to start production early next year. Tanya Neft chats to the family and the filmmakers behind it.
It's a story that made headlines in South Africa and the world over back in 1993. Amy Biehl's life taken in the most brutal way by an angry mob in a Cape Town township. The irony of her death is that Biehl was an activist lobbying for the very people who took her life. Her tragic yet inspirational story is now in the process of being translated onto the big screen.
Linda, let's start with you. This period marks 25 years since the brutal killing of Amy. How do you feel to be back in the very city where it all took place?
Well, I've been coming to this city for 25 years, and I feel it's home, but I haven't been here for a few years. So it's a coming home, very much a coming home feeling. Things have changed, things have stayed the same, but it's been very warm.
Kazan, let's come to you. You've been chosen to bring Amy Biehl's story to life. You're the director and, of course, no stranger to directing lots of feature films and short films. What is it about Amy that you are excited to work on?
When I read the script, I try to find a personal connection to the story, and so I can have this true voice and be able to bring life to this story in the most authentic and most beautiful way possible. So the way I survived Saddam war 2 times, 2 wars with Saddam, me and my family and my people. So I know how it feels to be hated and oppressed, and it's so important that the stories get a chance to be told right now, but also the boys' story. That is really important to me and to Linda and everybody in the team. That is, we tell the story from both sides.
I'm listening to you and I'm just in complete awe. How did you manage to turn that pain into forgiveness?
Well, it's about finding out the truth, what happened. But we didn't dwell on the actual event. That day happened, but it's not the end. I think Amy would have been extremely disappointed in us had we laid in bed taking some Valium, like I've seen so many people do. I said, we want to understand why she loved this country as much as she did.
What is it that you want people to take away from this story?
Maybe just through the storytelling, there will be some lessons coming out of that. Hopefully, this is the outcome, that this story opens up minds and hearts to other possibilities than hate.
My vision is really to bring back to people, link arms, and start to care and take care of each other.
Pre-production of the Year of the Great Storm starts in January and is set to depict a vivid memory of a country teetering on civil war. The filmmakers say they're looking forward to filming at the original locations in Cape Town. Tanya Neft, Cape Town.
To talk to us more about the legacy and impact of Amy Biehl's death, Kevin Chaplin joins me from our Cape Town studio. Now, he's the managing director of the Amy Foundation. It's very good to have you with us. What is the feeling now, 25 years on, and why do you think her story resonates still?
Thank you, Jane. Good to be with you. You know, that was a very difficult time in our history, 1993, and I think more so than ever before do we need this story to be told. We started doing very well as a country after the elections and throughout, and then the last few years we've really gone backwards as a country, and we need to really go back to basics now and get everybody to just open up again, to reflect and see where we've gone wrong. If you look, you know, our unemployment levels, what's happening in our country, we are really at a crossroads, and we really need everybody to just dig deep into their hearts. And this is such a wonderful time to bring home through this of what's going on, and through the Amy Foundation, through the movie, and the legacy of Amy. I'm so proud to have worked with Izin and Tobacco, and the blessings that these two guys have taught us, and the Biehl family, Linda and Peter, what they have taught us and what they can still teach us is so profound.
Kevin, I mean, I'm sure obviously you know them pretty well, and there was a few comments there coming from the mum, but how did they reach that point? Because that's quite extraordinary, isn't it? And if you look at South Africa at the moment, what lessons can be learnt from that family?
Yeah. Firstly, that we have to really reflect on where we've gone wrong. If we look at what happened then, these were just young boys that apartheid robbed of their youth. There was a lot of anger, there was a lot of frustration, a lot of tension. And where we are now as a country, we can't just overlook things. We really need to look down and take a leaf out of the Biehls in terms of engaging, reconciling, opening up. And it is all about communication, engagement, and forgiving. The forgiveness part is so important. And look what it led to, Jane. If you look at what Ntobeko and Easy and the whole Amy Foundation are doing daily, it's changing lives, and that's what it's all about. Every single person in this country can take a leaf from their book and do something to change lives, give dignity to other people. That's what we need to do, is start giving dignity, that every single person in this country and the world, I do believe it's far bigger than this country. The whole world needs to learn from the story.
Yeah, and you wonder how you learn that sort of forgiveness, that power of taking it away from yourself, that pain, and throwing it into a good cause.
And that's what I think is so powerful, because we often underestimate the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the power of a process like that. And it can do so much good, and we can't just put a plaster over the wounds. We've got to really look deep and say, now, there's forgiveness. Look at the good that can come from something so bad. But let's all work towards that. And that's what I'm so proud of, that the legacy of Amy has changed so many lives, not just Easy and Ntobeko. It's all of the children that we're working with every single day. Over 2,000 children in 7 different centres.
Yes, Kevin, I was going to ask you about that.
Teaching them life skills. And I think
what sort of impact has her death and the forgiveness had? You're talking about the children that you work with. I mean, do they see it? Do they pass it on?
Very much so, because it's all about teaching, obviously, the legacy of Amy, but also if you look at Easy and Ntobeko, I'm blessed to work with these guys. Ntobeko, up until last year, was our program manager, and he grew to the point where he wanted to also run his businesses. He was an entrepreneur, is an entrepreneur, business person, so it was, giving him those wings to take that on. And Easy, still daily working with the children, it's about showing these children the right way to live. And that's what I'm so proud of, that we all, every day, we've got nearly 85 facilitators, 12 coordinators that are working with these youngsters, showing them, giving them hope, giving them the confidence to say no to the negative stuff in our society, giving them the confidence to want to do well, not to drop out of grade 12, to go and get employed. And already in 2.5 years since we started our Youth Skills Development Program for the older kids, we've placed 453 youngsters in employment. And Jane, when you see these youngsters in employment, they're all excelling. And that shows you this is the way to go, to give these youngsters the opportunities that they don't have. And so that's really what we're doing every day. And that's what our staff are working so hard at.
Well, thank you for that wonderful story of hope, Kevin Chaplin. Thank you. There are worldwide calls to end the weaponization of faith, a tactic used by predatory priests to rape children. Pressure is mounting on the Vatican to punish priests accused of sexual crimes. That's up next.